Hey everyone, Alex Corey here with cultivatedchange.com. I wanted to do another seed comparison with you. I've been noticing some changes in the winter based off of growth time. Today I'm doing radish, so I do sunflower and radish on the same day because they both take about a week. So it's Tuesday today. This is my main radish crop, so this is red arrow radish. This is from True Leaf, link in the description. I'm up to 35 grams per tray with that. It's just the humidity levels in my house are so low, there's almost no risk, and I haven't seen any mold contamination yet. Usually that's the only thing you get with higher densities is just risk for disease and mold growth. But I haven't seen that, and I haven't come across any small stems yet. That's the other risk is higher you go in density, the more competition each stem and leaf has for light. But I haven't come across a ton of small stems yet, so 35 is the sweet spot right now. This is my bulk radish variety. This is champion radish. This is also from True Leaf. And I've had a stock of this for months just because I order 5 pounds at a time, and 5 pounds of radish takes a long time to go through. I had been doing this at a smaller density just because it does seem to have a higher problem or issue with mold, but this last month that seems to have disappeared. So I'm bumping this up to 35, and we'll see if we have any issue with that. 30 is my normal, but there's no downside to a higher density if you can get away with it, just because the entire cost is soil and time under light. So if I can get more radish in general, we'll do that. I use different radishes just because the red arrow is more expensive because it's a colored radish. It seems to grow faster. So that's the experiment we're gonna do. I've been noticing that the champion has been days behind. Even in germination, it's maybe ½ inch slower in germination on the day that I uncover it. And they usually go under lights on Sunday. So they're usually sitting for 4 days before I uncover them, and this has just been lagging. So I'm gonna actually do another seeding with you guys on Thursday, which is when I usually do my brassicas, pea, and wheatgrass, and we'll see if an extra 2 days under lights helps that radish. I'd rather not mix varieties like that just because I will forget, and my cycles are complicated enough, so if I can keep like varieties all on one day, that's ideal. But if it's going to be a pain, if it does take that extra couple of days to mature to the same height as a red arrow, then I might start swapping it with something else that's mild radish cost-wise, so a daikon or anything that grows as quickly as the red arrow. Daikon's usually the other common one that has the same height. So these are both 35 grams. I'm gonna go seed them, and I'll check back with you on Thursday when I seed the other batch of the champion, and then I'll give you updates whenever I uncover them. It's usually on Sunday, and then we'll see what poundage we have whenever we harvest next Wednesday morning. Okay, so we're seeding radish, which we just measured out. I have the red arrow here, champion here. I'm gonna fast forward through this just because I've done this in my masterclass, and I'll link it right here. View that, it's right at the beginning, the part where I actually do the seeding and explain everything. Just to go over the quick details, I'll put everything on the screen too. 35 grams per tray of each radish. I'm gonna use coconut coir with a little perlite in it. It's Coco Loco from Bush Doctor. Pre-sifted, so I don't have to do anything. An inch-ish per tray, so these trays will only be half full. Not ideal for cutting, but if you already have it, go for it. So I'm gonna do the seeding quickly. I'll give you a quick shot of what it looks like before I stack everything, and then we'll go inside for stacking. that's room temperature water. You don't need to do that for radish because it doesn't care. For sunflower or something that's a summer crop you do in the winter, I just had it here because I just did a video on sunflower, so that is probably 65 to 70 degree soil temperature. They will germinate quicker with that, which is why I did it. That helps the week schedule. So you saw me stack the other ones. 6 high is about as high as I will go. 4 high, perfect. That they don't have to fight the pressure of the paver we're gonna put on them in a minute. And just a quick note, when I do the overview, you'll see that the soil levels aren't entirely consistent. And if you are in a commercial production facility, so if you're doing hundreds of trays a week, that would screw up your harvesting, just because you're probably going to run it through some sort of saw blade like automatic contraption, just push a tray through. I still harvest with a knife because I do different stem lengths based on different mixes I'm making. So they're all about an inch of soil, and they will all be about here whenever I go to harvest them. If you were on a production schedule, you couldn't get away with that, but I can. So different contexts, different things you can try. I'll do a quick shot of the over just so you can see the density, and we'll go inside and cover. And you can see that some of them have little clumps. It doesn't matter too much with radish. They grow so quickly, and I usually don't have mold issues. But for the most part, it's pretty spread out, and that's about what you want. All right, we are back inside. So this is the red arrow we just did, champion right here. Just a quick note, just thought to mention, if you're germinating things inside, so not in a basement, but you're in a room, especially with wood floor like I have, make sure you have a tarp or something to catch. You might be able to hear the water dropping. It's still draining out of the trays. So just make sure there's a barrier on the floor if you don't have a cement floor or something. It'll evaporate back into the air pretty quickly, but just make sure you have something under your trays. Stack of 4, red arrow. And I am going to actually put this heavier paver on it just like this. That's probably 15 pounds. It's a cinder block almost. I know that works. That's what I usually use, and that's just, this is a heavy super sprouter tray, so it's extra strength. Because if you put this, a 15-pound paver, in a normal 10-20 tray, when you try to pick it back up, the sides can just rip off. I've done that so many times, so I use these heavy-duty trays for the weights only. For the champion, because I know they have germination issues, or have been having, I'm going to put a lighter paver on it. So this is a probably 10-pound paver, same tray. I'm just going to put it right there. The champion just seems to have less germination pressure, so I'm going to try to give it a little more fighting chance and even them out. I have done experiments where I just put an empty tray on the top of the champion, and that might work, but because my soil is not completely level, because I don't have 1-inch trays that I can just skim the soil over the top with, some of the seeds might not fully make contact with the soil if I just put an empty tray on and press it down. So I'm still going to put a weight on. We'll just reduce the actual amount of weight necessary. And we'll check back on these on Friday, see how they're doing. Friday or Saturday. We'll give them 3 days to see how the germination is matching up between the two. We are back about 4 days after seeding the radish to check on them. It's Saturday night, so we're a little over 4 days since we seeded. And this is the point at which I'll actually peek and start to uncover. This is the red arrow, and you can actually see the red start peeking out in the stem color, and champion right here. So just from this, you can see the difference in germination pressure, germination force. So quite a few more of the red arrow, although they're doing pretty well. So if we peek under here, that's fantastic germination. And the champion's actually just as good germination wise, but you can see they're not as long. They're probably about a day behind. And this is what I was mentioning. Champion, given same conditions, just doesn't have as much germination force, and that's fine. But what I am going to do right now is just quickly give you guys a fast forward of the blackout process. So once everything is germinated and starting to push, there's no point in keeping the weights on them. So I'm going to take the bricks off and then put these trays under their trays without any holes to cover them for at least tomorrow to lengthen them. Sometimes I'll do them about a day and a half to further lengthen them. They'll give them about 1.5 inches. That pressure will get generated into the stem instead of going all the way to the just into fighting the weight. So I'll give you guys a quick shot of that, and we'll check back probably Monday whenever I put them under lights. Back Monday morning with the radish, and this is perfect height for me to put under lights, so I'm going to put them in their bottom tray that was on the top covering them. These are the Champion up here, red arrow. It might be hard for you guys to see, but there's a definite, that red hue in the stem is popping out right now, and the red arrow is a little taller, so this isn't terrible size difference wise, but the red arrow is definitely bigger, probably by 1/2 inch, and that's what I was noticing. Now the real trick is how quickly that leaf spreads out and the flavor comes out. I'm gonna probably hold one of the Champion back and just keep it going a couple extra days to see at what point it would be the same maturity size as the red arrow, because I know it lags behind a little bit. But we're gonna fill this tray that was on top of them, just fill the troughs of these 1020s with water and put them under lights. I don't have lights, any more lights on this rack, so I will give you a time lapse putting them out in the main grow room. We're actually going to do another experiment because why not? And I think I know the results of this, but I realized I'd never actually done it experimentally, so I might as well record it. I just moved all the radish in. This is an LED over here, and these are T5s. So I'm going to see if there is any speed difference. T5s obviously give off a little more heat and supposedly a couple more lumens, and the LED is more efficient. With radish, it usually doesn't matter because they grow so quickly and they just need light in general. But we'll see. So I did 2 red arrow, 2 Champion, 2 red arrow, 2 Champion. So we'll see if there's any difference in growth time under different quality of light. And obviously this would be different if you had it in a greenhouse under indirect natural sunlight as well. But we'll check back tomorrow night. These guys will be pretty close to harvest already. It is Tuesday night and we're checking on the radish. This is the Champion here, red arrow, as you can clearly see with the red hue in there. This is not quite ready yet, but they also have another 8 hours to go before I will do a full harvest. This is the stage that I like to cut for some of my restaurant mixes. So restaurants generally like a more petite green. They don't need the full length. They like a very specific texture usually, and I'll cut maybe 1 inch up so they just get about that size green. So they'll get maybe 1 inch green. It just looks better on a plate. And if you're selling, then you can charge more for that because it's definitely more of a pain in the butt to cut it and you don't get as much weight. But price as you see fit. Just for eating, these will go at least another, they'll probably be growing for another 12 hours before I harvest them. Harvest Wednesday morning early. So it is amazing how much these will fill out in 12 hours. They have maybe another 4 or 5 under light, but they keep growing when they're in the dark. Half the process happens when they're in the dark, especially they soak up way more water. So these will both fill out, and I'll do another shot tomorrow morning, but I just want to show you it is perfectly acceptable to harvest at this stage if your clients like it. The flavor is there, the red hue is there, all the aspects are there, you're just not going to get as much weight. This would probably be about 10 ounces, and that's what I go for minimum per tray, but you can certainly get a pound out of the Red Arrow. I've never gotten a pound out of the Champion, but that's why we're doing the comparison. This probably could go another 3 days, so I'm going to do a trial and seed these on my Thursday harvest as well to give them a full 10-day instead of 7-day cycle. It's just amazing the difference in growth between radish varieties. Rambo radish, which is a purple one, is more like the Red Arrow, and that goes in a lot of mixes as well, but it's a quick grower. So we'll do one final shot tomorrow morning before they go out to be eaten. Harvest morning and the results of our radish crop. I showed you last night, this has grown significantly since last night, and the leaves have spread out a little bit and it's come in, so the tray is filled in. Same with the Champion. You can see the height difference. So there's a good inch height difference. These definitely need 10 days, and I haven't been doing it because I don't like to mix varieties on different days. I will now just because I need the extra height, but it just complicates things and I'm more likely to forget. This will be, the Red Arrow will be definitely a pound. This is bushy enough where it's going to be a pound, not a problem. This will probably be closer to 10 ounces. 10 ounces is my minimum, just to make the tray worthwhile with soil cost, seed cost, light cost, transportation, everything. So that'll be about 10 ounces, and I'll mix that just because the flavor is pretty much the same, so it gets mixed in with the Red Arrow, so the red brightens the entire mix, and then that's just used as a bulk filler. But definitely the easiest crop to grow. As you can see, we didn't have to go over anything super special, no real mold problems. Seed spreading is fine. So this is a good first crop to start with if you like radish, and the flavor on these is intense. As intense as a radish. So you would put just a couple of these on anything you would normally a radish, and it's hard. If you had your eyes closed, obviously you're not biting into a radish, but just the spiciness and flavor, hard to tell the difference. People are usually surprised. This and a daikon have some kick to them. So that concludes the radish experiments. I might do another one with daikon, see if I try that, but for today's, that's all. And thanks for doing the experiment with me. Until the next video. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. I hope you found it of some value. My goal is just to spread information on how to grow micros, and we'll be doing future videos on gardening as well, just to get as many people growing food as possible to decentralize the food system as much as possible. I have my social media linked down below. That's a link tree that'll give you all the specific socials in case you'd like to reach out. Don't hesitate to leave a comment. Be happy to answer questions and see what you guys would like more videos about, either head-to-head comparisons with varieties or specific varieties, just ones I haven't covered yet. I'll put my masterclass here somewhere that goes over the common ones and my basic procedure. If you'd like to support the channel, I have a donate link down in the description that I'll bring you to PayPal on my website, or you can just go directly to PayPal to help support the content creation. And if you need some bulk seeds, I have a True Leaf Market affiliate link in the description. Really good prices, and shipping over about a pound starts being worthwhile. And if you start growing things regularly, a pound for most of the seeds is the best way to start, in my opinion. Until next time.